Hello, my name is Jeong. For this assignment, I chose Muddiest Point. So, what is the Muddiest Point? It is one of the simplest and quick way to find out the most unclear part after a large stream of information in one lesson from students. It's versatile because it can be used in person as well as online classes. It is well suited for large introductory classes. So, what are the advantages? The main advantage, I think, is low input and high return. Low input in that it requires very little preparation for learners as well as educators, but it provides great snapshot of students' challenges, and it also promotes higher order thinking skills from the students. And for those shy students who would never ask any questions otherwise, this is a great way to get their questions too. And it provides diverse perspective on where the students' levels at. It really helps teachers to see the lesson through students' eyes. So now that I went over the pros, what are the cons of this technique? Limitations. It has tendency to focus on the negative, which could impact negatively on the learner's self-efficacy level. It also can be discouraging for teachers when teachers find out that their well-prepped lessons still left students with the questions. To be able to write down the muddy points, the students need to have an analytical skills which can take time to develop. And lastly, as the students' question skills develops, educators may be faced with difficult questions that they may not be able to answer. So what's step by step? Let's go over step by step. Number 1, decide on the topic that you want feedback from, which should be usually after a large stream of information, as I mentioned earlier. And ask, what is the muddiest point? And explain what that means for those students' English may not be as fluent. And must reserve enough time to explain what the question is and what is needed. So it also need to have enough time for students to think and answer what the muddiest point was. So fourth step is, if it's in-person classes, you pass out index cards and collect response as they leave. And for online classes, you give link to the anonymous survey, such as Google Forms, and see the report at the end. And lastly, the most important step, I think, is respond with feedback the next class or as soon as possible. So how would I provide feedback with this technique? First, once I gather all the feedback, I will find common themes and sort into 3 to 5. And then the next class, I will divide the students into 3 to 5 groups, depending on the number of students, with sorted themes of questions. And I want them to discuss their questions as well as the clearest point. Based on the limitations, I want to also put emphasis on focusing on the positive, what they have learned, what they know, so that I have positive impact on their self-efficacy levels. And once I give enough time for them to discuss, they will provide the group findings, and I will provide additional info if needed. This concludes my video presentation. Here are the references. Thank you so much.